thing is so cute. I do wonder what the context of this is, or who you're fighting against. I don't know who this boss character that we're fighting against is, but they sound pretty cute despite them being a boss. I assume that's what the song, or that's when the song is played. Interestingly, I actually, for the first half of the songs that I've listened to for Library of Ruina, I mentioned in the previous video that it felt like the songs were a more general take on the world of Library of Ruina. But for this one, it has a similar feeling as the songs in Limbus Company, where it focuses on a single person, or I guess in this case, whoever is the Iron Lotus. And I do find it interesting that they say that freedom is a limited resource, but greed is unlimited, and that their happiness means that we're going to be the ones suffering. From what I recall in the trailer for Library of Ruina, we basically invite certain people and then we fight against them in order to obtain like this one true book or something like that. So I do wonder what the story is behind the person that we invite for this battle theme to start playing in the game. But it does seem like their happiness, that part, it reminds me of the part in the trailer where we have to win in order for that book to come about. But if they win, then we basically go rip. Rest in peace. Forever. Probably. So I do wonder if they're talking about that. And there was a part in here. Let me see, where was it? Oh, right. So their pain, their joy were given values as they were rated. So basically, they were saying here that every emotion is not something, I suppose, natural, but it's rather something to be calculated because they're rated. I found that to be very sad. I mean, when we think about it, in some ways, our world is sort of like that, where if your pain or your joy isn't overwhelming enough, then it's usually put down. At least in a lot of situations, it tends to be that way, where we compare each other's pain and joy before we decide, oh, you're right to have that emotion. And it kind of reminds me of that. Maybe that's not exactly what they're saying here, but this line in particular started to make me think of those situations that I'm sure everyone has encountered at least once in their life to some degree. Maybe not in such an exaggerated situation, but it is something that we tend to, as humans, fall into because humans tend to think of themselves for the most part. And then there was, let's see. So I do feel like in this part where you showed me I still had an umbrella full of love inside me. And then the next part said, let me see, without you I could never be, sincerely thank you. It pains me to think that my happiness turned out to be one of those fingers. So that part before the happiness turned out to be one of those fingers that strangled you, where they're thanking them, it goes to show that people are both able to, I suppose, what's the word? They're able to show the goodness of each other, but that goodness, that showing the goodness, can sometimes be in a very toxic manner, which the person who is showing such toxic behavior don't really realize until maybe even after the fact, maybe after they left. And that's when they have that revelation that, oh, me being happy about that and getting that from you was making you suffer instead. And that's something that I was thinking about as well when I was listening to the song and also reading the lyrics. And that's pretty much all I got from here. I do wonder if the fight that we have with this character displays their regrets too, because they do mention that they regret not saying anything before the person left and they just sucked on their candy. I assume that's what it is. So I found that to be very interesting. It makes me wonder what the story is behind this character and how far in the game we encounter this boss character, assuming it's a boss. I assume. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I really don't know. But let's go to the next song. Gone Angels.
Look one by one, the pages remind me you'll always be a villain. For you, angels have fallen, now they're gone. See, now they're gone, forever gone from the hell
I really like the piano focused songs.
I tried. What did we expect? My dearest friend, tell me when we shall make it end. So let me take your hand like one of those mad men. Tappity tappity tap, dance the last dance, sing da da di da do di da do, da do da di da do di do. Spending my no prom, longing for this moment, brewing all this hatred. So I have a reason to see you dead. Don't
See me dead?
worry, I saved a spot for recycle bin.
Thank you for saving me a spot.
Stop now, one by one. Your desires convince me you've always been human. For you, the shows have fallen. Now they're gone. See, now they're gone. Forever gone from the stage that allowed us our one and only dreams. What's more to say? Pain always catches up to those who chooses to stay. Though it may hurt today, tomorrow I'll be heading my way.
Oh, that was the end? Let's go back to the previous song. I do want to go over it before we move to the next one, but this Gone Angel song also has a more, I guess, character focus. Not really on, I guess, it's not really in the point of view of the boss, assuming that it is a boss song. I'm just going to assume that's the case for the next two after this one. But it's more in the point of view of the person who's looking at someone who is the boss character that we're fighting against, assuming this is the battle theme. But the whole thing with the books and pages, though, it does subtly remind me of, what was her name? Angela? The one who is the librarian of the Library of Ruina. And I do wonder if that whoever is talking here is talking about Angela, actually. Because I don't know if she's a good person, considering the fact that she, injured us from the beginning, which is not really an indicator that she's a very good person. Or maybe it's more accurate to say that she has a very gray character, morally speaking. Maybe, but that's what I was thinking when I was reading the lyrics as I was listening to the song. Also, I really enjoyed the voice and piano mix without any other instruments. It just gives it a more ethereal feeling and a more haunting aspect to it, at least in my opinion. I'm not really sure how you guys feel, but just this whole thing with the opera aspect makes it feel like the person speaking is having like a monologue or something when they're singing, and clearly they're fighting against, I'm just gonna assume it's Angela and maybe us. Maybe she's the last boss. Well, I don't know, actually. Maybe not. I can't tell. But just the whole things about they're gone, I'll be heading my way, we shall make it end. What is it? I'm trying to find the words for it. Books you burn, desires convince me you've always been human. It really makes me feel like they're talking about Angela. And maybe I'm right, amazingly. But from the trailer, it felt like she didn't really know who she was. So, but she has desire, so maybe this song is us who's singing and saying that your desires convince me you've always been human, but maybe Angela herself doesn't feel that way because she doesn't remember who she was, assuming I'm right about that. But they clearly have their dreams, and then the decision that we had to make as her helper for staying in the library, clearly that decision is going to lead us to deal with some consequences. If the song is in the point of view of us, and the one that we're talking about is Angela as the you part. That's pretty much all I have to say for this one, so let's move to the next one. Poems of a Machine.
Roses are red, guess there's no use, my dear comfy bed. Violets are blue, electric sheep cannot be true. The books I read tell me there is hope as long as I wish. Faces of you, is that what you call a muse? Tick tock, no need to overclock. My wish is locked. Only your time passes by. I'm in the ride, spinning round and round, pretend I don't need good erase. Re-experiment. Only this time I'll recognize, and I'll be blind to that the city's power falls. So here I lie, reading your mind, poetic superheroes.
The book Powered Fires, I think that's what it said. It reminds me of, what's that book? Fahrenheit 451, I think that's what it was. Where books were essentially banned and burned.
I start
I think that's what it was.
guess there's no place for my silicone flesh. Liver I broke, can't taste it though I bet it's something new. Marionettes cut down all the strings, rewrite their presets. Faces of the moon, we lived in a dark cocoon. Tick tock, no need to overclock. My wish is locked. Ever dreaming to taste the sweet nectar of morality? Allow my heart to hold enough love to be broken. Maybe I'll try getting drunk. Finally, I cry for help from the top of my simulated lungs. Only your time passes by, and from my eyes now I will leave. Tell me why, 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 tell me why we malfunction. Only this time I'm smiling at your side, to know that I will someday be gratified. So here I lie, in the imperfect paradise, your majestic lullaby.
I do wonder if this is in the point of view of Angela too. Or maybe it's in the point of view of the Library of Ruina itself. And if it is a character that we fight against or something, then I guess I'm wrong in that case. I do feel like this song would fit well with Angela, at least based on the little things that I caught in the trailer and in general. But if not, then I wonder if we're going to be meeting a non-human entity that has a consciousness and maybe is a part of the library. Because it is poems of machines, so either they mean that literally or metaphorically. I'm just not sure which one that would be the case. But in some aspects or in the lyrics, it does feel like it has something to do with Angela and the library. I think it was. Because they keep saying books. And I know that there are parts of, well, the books being a part of the gameplay, which is inviting others into there and then finding the true book or whatever it was that I cannot recall at the top of my head. But despite that, the whole book focus, I feel like, is something that is reserved for Angela and also for us. But because of that, I can't imagine the whole book referring to someone else, mostly because, like I said, Angela is the librarian, so it feels more appropriate that she would be the one that would have a song that focuses and repeats the word book many times throughout. Especially since she's looking for the one true book and to understand herself, if I remember correctly. So the whole book Power Fires, and let me see, where is it? The books I read. And the fact that she's always in the library. And to some degree, I do wonder if she thinks herself as something that's not human. So I feel like if it's metaphorically, then perhaps this song is another tribute to Angela. But if not, then I do wonder if it's the library's entity, because I'm pretty sure the library is special, so there's no way that the library might not have a consciousness, or it probably does have a consciousness to some degree. Maybe it's not like completely maybe it's not complete yet, but I can imagine that it does end up developing by the end of the game. And so all of these ever dream of to taste the sweet nectar of morality. If we remember from the trailer, Angela had a very, like, she didn't really have any morals. I mean, considering what she did. So if it is about her, then I wonder if she dreams of having morality and being more human, at least to her definition of what being human is like. And crying for help and not knowing why. And then we're here, I lie in our imperfect paradise. Imperfect paradise, I feel like it would refer to the library. If it is, you know, in the point of view of Angela. And Angela is basically staying in the library, as per usual. At least that's what I'm getting from the song. I know that my interpretations might be far off when I actually play the game, so I do look forward to finding out which aspects I might have gotten right and which aspects I got wrong completely. So that'll be something that I'll be looking forward to in the future. So let's go to the last song.
Bamboo basket, reflector, working brakes. Never forget your helmet, trusty Mitzi. I'm off to the morning market. 33 lemons, a healthy looking chicken, and a dozen of free range eggs. Thanks, keep the change.
This is very different from what I expected.
Whistling a tune. I'm home. What a perfect day. I hang the sheets and the moon rose, and cream lemon chicken roasted.
That sounds delicious.
Men in black kicked down my front door. Hey, who, what, why? You violated Act 617. You got you're on the right. We all know the true answer was you shouldn't have been born the way you were.
Ooh, that's quite sad.
And we're packed in a cargo choo-choo train, squeezing against the body similar to me.
What the heck?
With tears rolling down our faces, we begin to say, never did anything from our souls. Louder and louder. Never did anything from our souls. Louder and louder. They shaved off my hair, fed me a foreign language. Looking on the bright side, yeah, I'm alive. I still remember all the people I love. So come at me and do your worst. All this pain and suffer, don't stand a chance.
I always feel like when they say do your worst, I'm like, why would you say that? What if they do the worst?
Morning came in red, and the people stayed and left, and the earth went round and around. The stars never look so kind of vanilla, so fragrant through the tiny slit on the wall. Every night I was invited to watch a theater played by moonlit birds. They spread their wings, carrying us eyeless voices, sing over historic songs, letting everyone in the future know that we existed. What a perfect night. I felt the urge to write a book, pass down my life. Until recently, time did feel so fast. With my bloody fingertip, I needed sticks and paper. I started to write poems after poems, and the moonlit birds came to meet me. Instead of the key and opened the gate, we're finally free. I picked up my bicycle, riding home to mother, riding my illusion world. I saw a version of heaven where I sat in my yard, reading a paperback print of my book.
Oh, that's so sad.
On a hillside, your little fist clutching sweat, walking to the memorial park. You put down freshly cut white crescent moms, a former thought police, or worse, or had children lying on the grass, saying two poems written by me.
Wait, so did she not get to see her mom? Or what? This one felt like a whole entire story. I don't know if the person that appears in the video is the... I guess, are there different kinds of species in this game? That's something that I'm not really sure about. But if it was, then it'll be in the point of view of one of those characters, or this character in particular, I would assume, maybe. And basically, they were captured, sent to camps, or something similar, to another country maybe, or even enslaved, if I have to put it that way, for being different. And then when... I can't tell if this character passes away at the end, and all of the poems that they wrote were then spread throughout once it was abolished, assuming the whole thing was abolished by the end. And so people sing this person's poems as a way to remind themselves of the horrors that happened before. But I'm not entirely certain. It has a very different feeling from the other songs, because I think the other ones don't really have like a particular story style lyrics, but this one is definitely filled with stories, and it made it even more what's the word? Engaging to read and to listen to, because it makes you want to know, wait, then does she get to see her mother, or is it just her dream before she actually dies from their attempt to escape? I assume it's the latter, but the positive side of me hopes that she at least was able to see her mother again before perishing. I really hope so. But it's quite interesting to see the differences between all the songs, the way it's written, the music style, and the point of views in each of the songs. It brings it a very different vibe for each song, which I appreciated a lot. This one in particular was like very unexpected to me. I mean, I knew it was gonna be dark. I just didn't know in what way, but this was like very, very dark in a interesting way, is all I'll say. But all in all, I did enjoy listening to the music for this game. Makes me look forward to actually playing the game for sure. I do want to try it out. I don't know if I'll end up finishing the game, but because I did hear it's difficult. But I do want to at least play it with everyone for the first time, see what's like, and maybe even have more context about things, because I am quite curious about the lore and the story in this game. And actually in all of their games, they have a lot of layers in their stories, or at least in the lore and the world that it's set in. So I do want to learn more about that. In any case, I hope you enjoyed watching all of this with me, and if you want more of it, then make sure to give it a like, comment down below, subscribe, and share. And I should have the Library of Ruina live stream either already scheduled on my YouTube or on my Discord, so make sure to hit the interested or RSVP for it if you're on Discord, and let's enjoy it together. In any case, I will end it here, so I'll see you guys later. Bye!